In this video, I will talk about loanable funds mode. What is loanable funds mode? A loanable funds mode is a mode that uses supply and demand to illustrate how an interest rate is determined by the interaction between savers who supply money and investors who borrow money. So the purpose of loanable funds mode is to describe long-term real interest rate. And long-term real interest rates are more variables to business and customers during investing in long-term assets. So here's the key features of the loanable funds mode. This vertical line is the real interest rate, and this horizontal line is the quantity of loanable funds. And this downward sloping line is demand curve. The demand curve represents business desire to borrow to buy capital goods, which means the demand curve represents investment. And the demand curve is downward sloping because loaners are cheaper when real interest rates are low, so borrowing increases as rates drop. And this upward sloping line is the supply curve. The supply curve represents the total savings in economy, which includes household saving, government saving, and foreign saving. And the supply curve is upward sloping because saving in economy increase when the real interest rate increased. And there's two main reasons for this. First is households save more because benefits of saving is higher, thus they delay consumption. And the second is foreign investors will buy more Canadian assets due to the higher rates. This will increase the demand for the Canadian dollar, which will cause it to appreciate and will cause the net exports to drop. And the equilibrium in loanable funds occurs when the demand curve and supply curves intersect. This is how long-run real interest rates are determined. So what shapes the demand curve? The change in perceived business opportunities and in government borrowing shapes the demand curve. Example is risk will cause the demand curve shift to left, and investment tax credits will cause the demand curve shift to right. And finally, business become optimistic about the economy will cause the demand curve shift to right, and business become pessimistic about the economy will cause the demand curve shift to left. So here is the example 1. If the business become optimistic about the economy, how will it affect long-run real interest rate? As we see, if a business become optimistic, the demand curve will shift to right, so the long-run interest rate will increase, and the quantity of the loanable funds will also increase. And what shifts the supply curve? Changes in private saving and capital inflows shift the supply curve. Increasing taxes on households will shift the supply curve to left and vice versa. Increasing in government spending will shift the supply curve to right and vice versa. And increasing in income will shift the supply curve to right and vice versa. And finally, customers' desire to consume today, not in the future, will shift the supply curve to left. So here is the example 2. If the government spending increase, how will it affect the long-run real interest rate? If the government spending increased, the supply curve shifts to right, so the long-run interest rate decrease, but the quantity of loanable funds increase. So here is how we calculate the loanable funds mode, and here's the reference page. Thanks for watching.